Hello everybody and welcome to the Monguli Show. Today we're going to be discussing how to unlock Archangel if you're struggling or if you've not tried yet because you don't know what minions to use. If you've already got Archangel and you want to get a bigger score, that's a different video. I apologize, you're not looking in the right place. But if you haven't got Archangel yet and you don't know how, I'm going to help you out with that. Come check this out. Alright everybody, this is the team that I used. It doesn't look like much because it's not much, and that's the beauty of it. It's a super resilient team. It doesn't do a ton of damage, but it does enough and it will outlast your opponents, and that's what we need. It does take a little while, but at least you're not spending a ton of energy and a ton of money and a ton of resources to level these characters up. We do spend some T4s, just a warning. I don't know if it's necessary to do that, but it definitely helps. The problem is these guys don't do a bunch of damage, so I did bump up some T4s on some of these characters just to give them a bit more punch. I changed some of them from healers over to strikers, again, get more oomph in there, and that seems to work. Mystique's no longer a problem. We'll show you how it works. First off, you'll see the first three are all level 70s. This is because I had to level these characters up to do Doom campaign. You need aim for level Doom 2, I think it is. So these three are who I use along with Graviton and Scientist Supreme. I leveled these two up to get them caught up, but you can see I didn't even get them all the way to 70, and we're still just fine. You've got a Skirmisher on the AIM Monstrosity, and I did give T4 to Sudden Evolution. I did give T4 to Puncture. You want to have the Infector in the middle of the group because the Biohazard ability is going to give counter to all of your adjacent allies. When Magneto pulls your entire team close together, that's your entire team, and that's fantastic. So you definitely want to have that. Striker on him. Striker on Security, and I did give her main ability T4. Again, just more damage. Bunch of T4s on her, 2 T4s on her, just because we want to keep her alive, and she keeps the team alive. Gave her a bunch of healings, so it's a great way to, again, just keep the resiliency up of this team. You're going to out-attrition your team. You're not going to beat them down, so it's really important that you have a healer. Didn't bother with any T4s here. They weren't necessary. And Striker on her as well. Him as well, sorry. So we've got 3 Strikers, a healer, and a Skirmisher. Let's see how it goes. So what you're going to notice is that we're only doing difficulty 4, which is obviously way too low. We're only going to get 291,000 points for this run. But what we're going to do is turn on every single one of the Scourges except for Unkillable and When It Rains. What this is going to do is bump us all the way up to 502 points, and in fact, once we complete the run, you'll see we get 507 points. More than enough to make this work, more than enough. And because we're only a gear tier 11, this should be very simple for you to complete, depending on what your level is, obviously. I mean, level 11 is nothing. This is very doable, and we can do this with the minion team that we just saw, so let's give it a go. Okay, this fight scene I'm speeding way up because it was originally 11 minutes long, and I'm just not going to do that to you. You have to hit Blob first because he's got threat, but your actual target is Doctor Strange. He can give you a ton of debuffs, as you just saw, as well as he can revive teammates. So as soon as you can, start hitting Doctor Strange. You have to hit Blob because of the threat, nothing you can do there. Doctor Strange is your target. Once Doctor Strange is down, you don't really care that much about the other 4 targets. Sabretooth does a lot of damage. Spider-Man can do that one big attack. Toad is only strong with Blob. Once Blob is gone, Toad is useless, and I don't even think I would bother taking him out. I move on to other targets once we go into Wave 2. When one character is left, that will trigger Wave 2, so if you want to start wounding the second last person before you kill the last person, that's not the worst idea. Magneto's going to pull your whole team together, and that's actually what you want, because then you can give your entire team counter, and that's really good. But you do want to get rid of him because he also gives your entire team blind, and that's not good for you. Mordo can also give a bunch of debuffs, so I'd go after him, or Phyla-Vell can actually remove debuffs from her team, so she's a good target too. But I think Magneto is your number 1 target, other than, of course, Juggernaut has threat, so you have to attack him. We don't care about Toad, we don't care about Mystique. Just kill them whenever you can, whichever order. For some reason here, I'm targeting Mystique instead of Phyla-Vell. I'm playing on auto, as you can tell, so maybe I just didn't care at this point. The team, as you can see, my entire team is still fully healthy and doing strong, so I think that's proof that this works. Then we're done. Round 1 is done. We're good to go. On to bigger and better things. As you can see, the entire team is still alive. The entire team is fully healthy. We're laughing. On to round 2. Alright, this fight was 13 minutes long. Again, not going to do that to you. So as you can see, our first option, we kind of have to take out that hand ninja. We don't really have a choice because he's going to give the rest of the team stealth. But if I had my druthers, I'd want to take out Venom first because he gives bleed and heal block. And Carnage because he deals a ton of damage. Rhino obviously has threat, so he has to go. Hand ninja gives everybody stealth. He has to go. But if you can get shots in on Venom, I say go for it. Vulture and Swarm, we don't really care about. Just take them out whenever you can. I think I focused on Swarm there just because he was already so low. Phantom X has threat, but the rest of this team we don't really care about. I think we should probably go for Deadpool, simply because he has the ability to target our lowest characters, our weakest characters. So we want to get rid of him. Magic, Domino, and Teenage Nuclear Warhead, whatever her name is, Negasonic, we don't care. Like, they're all fine characters, but like Deadpool I think is probably the deadliest of this group. So we're just going to take them out and move on. You can see our team is still absolutely fully healthy. Just the resilience on the AIM team is ridiculous. And this is going to get you through if you build them up properly. Just Negasonic left. Once she's gone, we'll trigger wave 2 and see what we've got. She's taking a beating though. She's got lots of death proof. But we're just whittling her down, and there she goes. Okay, so in this team, I think Rocket is probably the most deadly, but Moondragon's not bad either. Drax obviously has threat and a ton of life, so he's going to take a little bit to get through. But once we do, I think Rocket is our #1 target. Mantis can heal, but not enough to really worry about. Negasonic and Star-Lord we just don't care about, so I'm probably going to go Rocket, then Moondragon, and then Mantis. But again, Drax has so much life, we just have to worry about getting through him first. Alright, Drax is gone. We're going to burn through Rocket pretty quickly. Rocket's out, going for Moondragon. I love that my team is so resilient. Now my entire team has a revive once and death proof, so we are laughing at this point. There's only these 3 characters left, and then that'll be it. We'll be done. Moving on. Take out Negasonic, and there she goes. Star-Lord, dead. And that's it. We're past the minions mode, and all of our minions made it. Congratulations. Now, I'll still go through the rest of the nodes, but they're really simple after this point, so I understand if you leave the video at this point, but give me a like if this helped you out. If you got your Archangel because of this, let me know in the comments. Let me know if this helped in any way, shape, or form. I really appreciate it. And if it didn't help, or if it didn't give you enough of what you were looking for, I apologize. Maybe we'll do better in the next one. Keep going, but I understand if you leave. Have a good day. Alright, so the next node is Hero. That's it. It can be any hero you want, so just take some of your best heroes in. You should definitely have these people leveled up. Most of them, if not all of them, are very easy to get, even beginner-friendly to some extent. And they're amazing in pretty much every Scourge. I don't imagine this one will be any different. Let's give her a go and test her out. Alright, so we've got the Young Avengers. The first thing we're going to want to do is probably take out... Well, we have to take out Phantom X, because he's got threat. I really want to get rid of Sunfire, because he's got some pretty nasty abilities. And also, Minerva in the back there is a really good healer. She's fallen out of favor recently, but she's well known to be an incredible healer, and she can revive teammates. So all 3 of those, I'm going to say, are probably our biggest threat. I'm not too worried about Shuri. I've never really had any respect for T'Challa, or Star-Lord T'Challa, or whatever you call him. Ghost had her day back in the day, but nowadays I don't think she's anything really to worry about. We move on to the next round, and Squirrel Girl is always a pain in the butt. I definitely want to get rid of her. Mr. Negative can keep bringing that one minion, so I kind of want to get rid of him. Taskmaster's okay. He's nothing terribly strong. We're just burning our way through this, though. You can see the power of the Young Avengers. Echo is getting pretty weak, and she still makes it through the end. Like, we heal her up, and she's good to go, and we're feeling good about ourselves. This is not too bad of a fight. It takes a while. I want to say this was like a 7-minute fight or something that you're seeing in a minute, but it's going pretty strong. There we have it. The Young Avengers make it through relatively unscathed. We're moving on. This is going very well. Next run is also hero. I'll switch up the teams just because if you don't have the Young Avengers or something, there they are. Let's see how these guys do. Now that we're using the web wearers, which are another very easy team to get, I'm going to slow the video down just a little bit. You can tell that their fighting is... they're doing a lot more damage than the other characters could, and they're just wiping the floor with these teams. I like to get rid of characters like Nick Fury and Mr. Sinister, who can bring in minions as quickly as possible, but Omega Red is obviously the biggest threat on the board right now. Deathpool's pretty strong, but in a team like this where she doesn't have any minions to attack, she doesn't get a lot of her bonuses. Zemo is a huge threat. He has a lot of powerful things for such an older character. He's very dangerous. I don't really care about the minion healer or the shield team healer because she can't revive anybody. So I'm not terribly worried about her. Sinister's ability to clone my guys is bad. Gambit is strong, but nothing scary. Okay, so we lost Spider-Punk on that one, but it's okay. Node 5 is still just heroes. Because we're not playing at level 5, we're only playing at level 4, we don't need to worry about War Dogs, Wakandans, Bionic Avengers, any of that nonsense. Just bring your best heroes and keep going. Here we go. Alright, a little bit of a hodgepodge, but just high-level characters. Let's see what we do. Okay, there's no reason to speed this video up because it only took about a minute or so. This is an incredibly strong team. Black Panther is amazing in Scourges because every time he gets a kill, it fills his speed bar up significantly. And whenever he gets a kill, Deathpool gets to get an attack in, and she's very strong too. So that's a great team to have. Obviously, the Eternals are strong, and Kestrel's one of the better characters in the game still. So you're going to see Black Panther just rip through these people. Squirrel Girl is an obvious target. We absolutely hate her. You have to kill Strife. The other characters we don't care so much about. Once we get to Thanos and them, again, Thanos is usually, well, used to be strong, but we're just going to rip right through him. And with Wakandan, or Black Panther and Deathpool, this is not even a challenge. I think the minions come back once or twice with their revives, but this is a very easy end to this fight. Again, I think your Young Avengers will get you through all of the hero nodes. Like, I just kept switching it up just to see what else there was and kind of go through things, but I probably could have done this with just Young Avengers. In fact, maybe I'll do that while I'm watching a movie or something this week, and I'll post it in the comments. So I'll check it out there if I can get through the Young Avengers team at just about 500. I think they're about 550. There we go. We absolutely burned through those people. This team was very strong. You can really see the power of Black Panther and Deathpool put together. Black Panther in these Scourges is so strong if you level him up. I definitely recommend getting him higher. I don't know about the whole War Dogs team, but Black Panther and I think Okoye are both really, really good. Okay, we're on to mutants, and luckily we haven't used any at this point, so we can bring any mutants in we want. Sorry about that. My computer actually just crashed, so I didn't have a chance to go over the team that we're playing with. But obviously we've got Rogue and Gambit, Jubilee and Beast, and then Omega Red is just too strong to ignore. Now, there's nobody really terrifying in this opening group, but we've got to go for the threat of Luke Cage. Kingpin brings in a lot of people, and with his new rework, I wasn't sure how good he'd be on a Scourge, so I went after him first. But there's really just nobody here that we're worried about. Taskmaster's pretty decent. Hulk is very strong, especially now. Colleen Wig is decent, but again, nobody here that should really be giving you too many problems, depending on the size of your team. I brought in Beast and Jubilee for a bit of resiliency, and then my front three are more the damage dealers. I know Magneto was stronger on my team, but I just don't have a lot of faith in him yet. And as you can see, like, even this team with not many synergies is still just ripping its way through. Tier 11, like level 4, like this is pretty simple. Shouldn't be too hard for you. You know what? Let's try something. We'll leave Omega Red here. But then let's pick our Dark Side team, Death Seed team. I haven't played with these characters. I've never used Archangel. I've never used Dark Beast. I don't have Nemesis yet. Let's see what happens. You can always quit out. I know this is going to be a very underpowered team compared to what we just did. But you can always quit out and just start again. Oh, I hope that doesn't affect our end score. Didn't think of that. I don't think it will. Let's give her a go. Okay, now being as this is my first time using the Death Seed team, you're going to see that I'm reading some of their abilities as we go, just to remind myself exactly what's going on. Captain America Sam is one of the biggest threats on the table. Okoye is pretty strong, and I think that looks like a Nakia back there. Any one of those are good options to hit first. You don't really care about Peter Quill, you don't care about the minions. But I have to say, even at the level that they're at, like I think Dark Beast and Archangel are both only about 50k. They do pretty well in this, and I'm very curious what they're going to look like in raids. I'm waiting to get Nemesis and then build them all up before I actually start doing raids. And my raid team, like, we're starting to do Doom 2.1, I think. So I've been waiting for a mutant team to level up. I didn't want to level up X-Man because I knew that these people were coming. But now that they're here, I'm really curious to put some energy into them and some power into them and just see how they do. Maria Hill is an issue. She can bring in extra people. She can do an entire board hit, and she can heal. That's who I want to hit first. But of course, you got to get rid of the person who's got the threat level. I don't know why I took out her next, but oh well. Maria Hill is your number one target if you can. As you can see, she just added 3 more people to the board. And yeah, they're not strong, but still, you want to wipe as fast as you can. It's crazy how well this team is doing for such a low level. But of course, Omega Red definitely helps. He's just an absolute beast. Okay, that wasn't a raid, and they're not very strong, and we're missing Nemesis, and that was still brutal. I think this Death Seed team is legit. Just fantastic. No restrictions. We can do whatever we want on this one. Fantastic. So I decided to go with my Darkhold team for this one. I figured if you're trying to get Archangel, it's probably because you're trying to get Apocalypse. And if you're trying to get Apocalypse, you need to have this team. Also, it's just the best team in the game right now. There's no reason to not be using this team if you can in almost every capacity. The first thing that I went after was Hela and then Zombie Iron Man because they're just both way too strong. Squirrel Girl is another great target once you get to wave 2, and eventually Phoenix will show up, and you want to try and ignore her for as long as humanly possible because she will give a lot of buffs to everybody once she dies and comes back. Not as many because you don't have the other X-Men, but it's still a good time to just ignore her for as long as possible. She will make everybody go stealth, and you will have to kill her, but so be it. Again, there's no restrictions on this one, so you can just bring your 5 strongest people, whether they're your best team or whether they're just randoms. It shouldn't really matter. At level 11, you should be able to crush this fairly easily. I don't really know what to say. With Phoenix out of the way, you can hit any stealth player you want. We're going to use the big finisher, although it didn't do as much damage as I would have liked, and then just do a little bit of cleanup. Again, it's unrestricted. Use whatever character you feel is the strongest. Get yourself an angel. What did we expect? It's the Darkhold team. They are the best team in the game right now. Of course they wiped the map with that. Alright, mode 9, again, no restrictions. I'm going to switch the team up again, just to show you, like, you can do whatever you want here. It's totally fine. You don't need to use the best team. Who do we want to run? Kestrel? Alright. And who do we want as a random? Doom? Sure. Although we got 2 people with minions. It'll be fine. Okay, this one's actually turns out to be a bit of a fight. We have Deathpool there, and of course, because we've got two different sets of minions, Deathpool actually turns out to be a bit of a problem. Adam Warlock, we don't worry about too much. Doctor Strange could be a problem, but I don't think he actually turns out to be. Here we get Nakia, and she actually survives for quite a while. Brawn doesn't do a whole lot. Black Panther is actually really good. But it's that Deathpool that just kind of hits us over and over again. Every time she takes out a minion, she just gets a couple of good shots in. And it starts to add up. So I decided gotta get rid of her. Gotta tackle her out. I don't respect Nakia or Black Panther at this point, and they do last for quite a while. I don't know how much damage they're actually doing, but they're there and they're an issue. Adam Warlock's super simple. Now this is where it gets brutal. We get Shang-Chi, Abomination, Spider-Weaver, and Agatha Harkness. Still Nakia, still Black Panther, and they start taking my team apart. Now, luckily, my Kestrel is a boss, and she saves the day, but they are rough. I honestly don't know which one to tell you is the main goal. I went after Spider Weaver first, but maybe Shang-Chi, just with the amount of damage he can put out, should be your goal. Or honestly, Agatha Harkness with a lot of debuffs. I'm not 100% sure. I went after Spider Weaver, and it did cost me. As you can see, I'm down to only 3 characters now. Soon I'll be down to just Doom and Kestrel. Agatha's still around. Agatha's still a bit of a problem, but she's not really a heavy hitter. She's just doing the debuff thing. Once it's down to this point, I'm a little bit nervous, but then I realize my Kestrel's just not losing life, and it's just a matter of waiting until she gets her ultimate so that she can just eliminate a character. So basically, I'm just doing a little bit of damage, a little bit of damage, a little bit of damage, ultimate dead. I would suggest bringing a team with a lot more synergy into this fight. I didn't have any synergy, and it hurt me. It cost me. Wow, that was the most of a fight we've had yet. But in the end, Kestrel is just God tier, and she's God tier for a reason. She just eliminated, wiped them off the board by herself almost. So we're moving on to the last round. Okay, last round, and we're back to hero. Which heroes do we have left? All these people are dead. Kestrel's too good to be ignored. Rogue is amazing. Why not Ghost Spider? You know what? Actually, let's test this theory out. I said that I think that you could probably get by with your Young Avengers. Let's see if that's true. Wave 10, Young Avengers. Let's see what happens. So in the first wave, we've got Ghost Spider. You know what? I've always found Bloodstone to just be a powerhouse. I don't know why. I think it's more of a pet peeve than it is that she's actually strong. She's almost dead already. And there she goes. Not a lot of people here that I'm worried about, to be honest. And I mean, maybe that's because they're all pretty much dead already, but Ghost Spider can be a bit of an issue if you just can't hit her. But once you start hitting her, she's pretty easy. Firestorm, I think it is he's got some decent attacks and buffs. Gambit as well, but he's looking pretty... Rogue is an issue. I think that I just kind of leave her alone at now, because I know that I'm going to take a lot of time beating her up, and I'd rather get rid of the people around her, so that at least I'm not getting hit by 10 people. I can only get hit by, like, a couple. Because I know that it's going to take a while to beat her down and get her down low. The nice thing with the Young Avengers is they're so resilient. Obviously, Squirrel Girl has an amazing healer on her. But even Miss Marvel has a good healer. It only heals herself, but it's still enough to keep her alive. They've also got a couple of attacks. I think they each have an attack, or almost, that it... Maybe not a Ferrera. I don't know if America has one. That is a wide range attack. They can attack multiple people. So they're really good at keeping alive. They're pretty good at killing other things. Generally, one of Echo or Hawk Girl, what's her name? Kate Bishop, will have issues and will be kind of struggling to stay alive, but the other 4 usually do okay. It's always one or the other. Right now it seems to be Echo that just is getting hit pretty hard. But I don't think I lose anybody. I think we keep everybody to the end. And it's, again, like my Young Avengers are only 550. I should be leveling them up more than I am, but I'm just so focused on Apocalypse. But definitely you should be leveling them up too. They're pretty easy to get, even if you're a smaller player. And they're good in a lot of different scenarios. They're great at war. They're good at Crucible. They're decent. Maybe not so good in Arena. I'll give you that. But these Scourges, they're invaluable in a lot of them. And I think it's the Rogue one they're required. So I might be wrong on that. That might be the Morgan Le Fay one. But either way, for one of them, they're required. And for all the other ones, they're just really good. As you can see, they're doing a good job here. I'm finally hitting that Rogue. Going to take her out pretty quick. And then only have a couple other people to deal with. And quite frankly, nobody in this node is that scary except for Rogue. So once she's gone, you should be good. And after this, you've got yourself an Archangel and you're good to go. Wow, that Rogue is still just taking a beating. This was a 9-minute fight before I shortened it down. I don't want you here watching this for 9 minutes. I'm surprised you're watching this for the 3 minutes you are. You probably just skip ahead. You know how this is going to go. I just told you we win. And there it is, guys. 507. That'll get you your Archangel. Congratulations. If this video helped you, tell me down in the comments. Tell me that this video helped me. Let me know what mutant team you use to get through those raids, because I don't have a good option for that. I think the aim is good for the minions. I think the Young Avengers are good for the heroes. The mutants are kind of just whatever mutants you can use. If this video helped you, let me know. Give me a like. Give me a subscribe. Give me an early Christmas gift and help me get towards my goal of 100 subscribers. I know we're still ways away from that, but if everybody gives me a subscribe, I would really appreciate it. Love you guys. Happy holidays. Signing out.